How's it going, Spurs Mafia? Today we got a post-mortem of the Spurs' first loss of the season. They actually played a lot better defensively than I thought they would against a vaunted Clippers team. As crazy as it sounds, they held Kawhi to just 38 points. And I mean that somewhat seriously. And they had a chance to win this game, but poor performances from LaMarcus Aldridge, DeJounte Murray, and a bunch of role players, plus some weird rotations down the end of this game, really cost it for the Spurs. Let's go to the tape. I really like the way DeRozan scored the basketball in this game. He went into the post a lot against smaller guards, and he had a fair amount of success with it. He's really effective with his back to the basket, especially against smaller guys. Pat Beverly is a great defender, but he can't be harassing your dribble if you protect the ball with your body. On this play, he uses Beverly's aggressiveness against him, spins when he reaches, gets the layup, thought he was fouled. Here, he goes into the post again, quick spin move, jumper, that's good. The closer DeMar is to the basket, the more effectively he scores. Here, he cut through the entire defense, got all the way to the rim, finished with the left. We all know DeMar loves the mid-range, but his go-to shot wasn't super effective in this game. He started out the second half really trying to get that shot, working it in the pick and roll, and the defense pretty much let him have that shot. Here, Kawhi fights through the screen and fouls him, and he made the shot, but he missed the free throw. And then a few possessions later, he goes for a very similar shot, contested, air ball, maybe blocked. As good as DeMar is, these aren't easy shots, especially if you got Kawhi Leonard in your grill closing out. The Clippers defense did a good job of forcing him to take these tough mid-range looks when he went into the pick and roll most of the time. They also did a good job of turning him over. He made some sloppy passes in this game. He turned the ball over especially late in the game in the fourth quarter. We'll talk about that a little more later. But these are just not smart decisions from a guy who's controlling the offense. Obviously, the most painful turnover of the night for Spurs fans was when he got ripped by Kawhi Leonard, steal and slam. Why did you leave us, Kawhi? LaMarcus Aldridge started this season super hot, so he was due for a stinker, and he shot 2 of 8 in this game, missing shots that he usually hits. I mean, that fadeaway over Zubac, that's his shot. Catch and shoot from the elbow, that's his shot. These are shots that you want LaMarcus Aldridge to take in the flow of the offense, and he just couldn't get going. Got to give credit to Montrezl Harrell. Look how far he forces Aldridge to catch that ball from the basket. Aldridge makes the tough shot, but that was the exception to the rule on this night. He also wasn't really putting in much work off the ball, screening hard, getting seals down low, rebounding. He only had 5 rebounds in this game. It was a soft game from LaMarcus, and it's especially disappointing on a night where, with matchups against Harrell and Zubac, he should be eating in the post. He also turned the ball over a couple times, 3 to be exact. Really just not a crisp performance by LaMarcus Aldridge. He needed to be locked in for this game, and his effort level was kind of pitiful, especially on the glass. Like, he only had 5 rebounds, and there was just no effort a lot of the time on a lot of these plays. Wound up giving the Clippers extra opportunities to score, and you can't do that. You can't give an offense this effective extra chances. This play here is really quite terrible. Look at no effort on the glass. Ball pops out to him. He kind of gets it but loses it, and then he just completely loses interest in the play. Zubac is cutting to the rim, and nobody's guarding him. That's really not good from LaMarcus. We all know Derek White is really effective when he's cutting toward the basket. Here, beautiful pass from Jakob Poeltl, nice layup. But in this game, Derek White was showing off his jump shot. There, he gets space from Harrell, lets it go. Here, end of the shot clock. That's a prayer, and it's up. Most of his threes this season have been catch-and-shoot corner looks, but in the second half of this game, the Clippers gave him a couple of wide-open pull-up threes from the top, and he drilled them. Let's talk about three-point shooting. Bryn Forbes on the season, 11 of 25, far and away the best shooter on this Spurs roster, 44%. Patty Mills, also 44%, 8 of 18 on the year. They've been fine. The guys that I'm worried about right now are Rudy Gay and Marco Belinelli. They're a combined 3 for 25 on the season. And a lot of these looks are just wide open catch and shoot three-pointers that they should be hitting. That pretty much any professional NBA player who's not 7 feet tall should be hitting. These are two guys who are professional scorers, and it's weird to see them so out of sync from this range. Like, that's a wide open look for Marco Belinelli that you expect him to hit. Rudy has some upside defensively, but Marco is really just in there for his shooting, and he's only hit 1 3 the entire year. At some point, something's got to give. You don't expect to see sloppy turnovers like that from him and Patty, who have been playing together for years. He's just been pretty sloppy all around. DeJounte Murray hit a 3 in the first game of the season, but he's 0 of 5 from deep since. That's really not his game. This game, DeMar DeRozan was controlling so much of the offense that it basically relegated DeJounte to spot-up shooter, and that's not a role he thrives in. This might sound crazy, because Kawhi did finish with 38 points. But the Spurs did a fantastic job of guarding him, at least through the first 3 quarters, and even in the fourth, he just got going. Basically what they did was invite him to take those mid-range jump shots, but they did a very good job of contesting, getting a hand up, and making it difficult. A lot of times he was moving, step back. They weren't super easy shots for him to make. There, turnaround fade on the baseline, DeMar right in his face. Here, he's sizing up DeMar, maybe a little too much space. That's a warm-up jumper for him. But they're keeping him in front and not letting him get to the basket. The only times he got to the hoop in this game were in transition, off of steals. We all know Bryn Forbes isn't the best defender, and this shot went in, but he played his tail off. That is a tough contest. Here, ISO, shimmy shake. Gets his hand up, that's a bad miss. That's great defense by Bryn Forbes. Here, contests the shot, baseline, runs the floor, gets an open 3, bangs it. Shout out to Bryn Forbes. He did a bang-up job when he had to guard Kawhi Leonard in this game. In fact, there wasn't a single guy who guarded Kawhi poorly in this one. Everybody, DeMar DeRozan, Derek White, DeJounte Murray, everybody gave him a pretty tough time on these shots. They invited him to take mid-range looks, maybe some floaters, but they always got in and contested the shot, and it was really effective. He only shot 8 of 23 in the first 3 quarters of this game, and he only had 1 assist for the entire game. The Spurs pretty much played their standard game plan in the pick and roll, sending guards over and dropping big men, and I expected Kawhi to hit more pull-up jump shots in this game, but again, the Spurs did a really excellent job of contesting and making those shots that he's usually really good at quite difficult. This is fantastic defense by DeMar DeRozan to contest this 18-foot elbow jump shot. Bad miss. Bad rebounding by LaMarcus Aldridge. Not once, but twice. And they're lucky Patrick Patterson's booty. He was 0 for 5 from 3 in this game. And that kind of dovetails with our next idea, which is that the Spurs wanted Kawhi to pass to his teammates. A couple of times they actually kind of invited him to. And it makes sense because he is the most effective scorer on their team. Here, that's an easy read. DeMar is jumping, taking away the jump shot, but again, that's Patrick Patterson. They'd much rather have Patrick Patterson taking a contested 3 than have Kawhi shoot from just about anywhere. This is the one inexcusable blown coverage of the entire game. Kawhi makes him pay. I don't even know who was supposed to be guarding him there. Probably DeMar. This play, he gets to the rim. Awesome stuff by LaMarcus Aldridge right back in his face, but then nobody's there to clean it up once he gets the rebound. And that's an and one. The Clippers' other best scorer is probably Lou Williams, and Derek White and the Spurs defended him really, really well in this game. You'll see a few makes here. But this is picture-perfect defense. This is exactly what you want to force Lou Will to take. Lou Williams is a walking bucket. He is a pick-and-roll assassin, a technician running that action, and the Spurs did a fantastic job to contain him, even though he made a few good plays early in this game. They didn't even really do anything special. This is how they play the pick and roll. They send the guard over, they drop the big man, and the guard, especially Derek White, did a fantastic job of coming in off the screen and contesting these mid-range pull-ups. DeJounte Murray's defense has gotten a lot of buzz early in this season, but Derek White is almost just as good. He stays in front, his instincts are fantastic, he can be incredibly disruptive when he wants to. Here, on the drive, forces a bad pass, DeMar turns it over, and Derek White almost gets it back there. Y'all better watch out for when DJ isn't on his minutes restriction anymore and they're playing together. You guys know I like Lonnie Walker. I'm not hiding that. In the interest of full disclosure, I did meet him on draft night. I covered most of his games in Austin. I've gotten to know him pretty well as a person. But also, I think he's a fantastic basketball player, and I think he's ready for an increased role this season. He only played 5 minutes this season, heading into last night's game against the Clippers, and he only played 5 minutes in the Clippers game, after which Greg Popovich said that he expected more from him in terms of awareness and effort. And I didn't really see that, so I went back and looked at the tape, and let's see what Pop is talking about. Here, Lou Will blows by, Gay's in help position but doesn't really help. Look at Lonnie's second effort, though, to try to block Montrezl Harrell. That's not a lack of fight. Okay. Kawhi Leonard posting him up. Gets bodied, swipes down. That's not a lack of effort. How about this play? Guarding Kawhi Leonard in the open court, fights over a screen, stays in front, and that's a carry. Yeah, totally non-competitive. You're right, Pop. Here's an open corner three that he bricks off the top of the backboard. But that's not effort. Here he picks up Lou Will, open court, stays in front, forces a bad miss, then he gets running in transition. Here, DeJounte just throws the ball away, and it goes the other way. Now at the tail end of this, is there a lack of effort? Sure. But not by Lonnie. This one's on the three dudes under the basket who give up a foul. Alright, what about on the other end? Here's a totally non-competitive screen on Patrick Beverley. Look at how soft. He should take lessons from Marco Belinelli on how to play physically. On this one, he gets called for a foul trying to fight over a screen. The key word is fight. I mean, this guy was not lazy out there. This is the only play he was really involved in the second half, and Pop pulled him immediately after. Some people are saying that right here, Lonnie Walker should get his butt into Montrezl Harrell to prevent him from getting this offensive rebound. Never mind that it's his responsibility to guard Kawhi Leonard, who there's no way Rudy Gay is rotating over to. It would have been nearly impossible for him to box out Harrell here, and he does the next best thing, which is try for the rebound and the block. He almost got it. If we're going to talk about a lack of awareness and effort, let's look at a couple of plays where Landry Shamet shook loose. There's Bryn Forbes getting completely lost. Patty Mills also creamed on a screen. They wind up giving up a wide open dunk to Trez Harrell. This one's pretty bad. Early transition, Patty has no idea who he's supposed to be guarding. That guy, turns out, catches the ball, takes it all the way to the rack. This one's Marco, and it's horrendous. Dude picks up his dribble there. Marco swipes for no reason and gives up a layup. Let's see the pure disgust from Becky Hammond and Will Hardy. The Spurs defense had been pretty effective for most of the game, but in the fourth quarter, Kawhi started to hit those tough shots that he usually does hit. Here, pull up, mid-range, water. On this one, he rips Rudy, who wants a foul. Not gonna get it. Kawhi, coast to coast, polite slam. Here, they really go after him, force it out of his hands, and it winds up going to a teammate who bricks an open three. Here we're in the fourth quarter, and Marco Belinelli is guarding Kawhi Leonard. It seems like an obvious decision to go after him, but the Spurs are giving Kawhi a wide open shooter on the wing. Except, that shooter's JaMychal Green, who's not really that good. Rudy gets back in position to contest, and it's a brick. This one's on Bryn, who for some reason is guarding Kawhi Leonard, and also doesn't seem to call out this screen very well. Now who do we have guarding Kawhi? Oh, that's Rudy Gay. Kawhi, dribble, step back. That's water. Before this play, DeJounte picked Kawhi up in the backcourt, waved Rudy off, said, "I got it." He did his best, it didn't matter. Now, at around this point in the fourth quarter, DeJounte Murray knows that Pop is going to take him out because of his minutes restriction sometime soon. So he started to really put it on. DeJounte is one of the few guys in the league who can take over a game on the defensive end of the floor. And he almost did that. Here, he sees the mismatch, steals all sneaky, gets going the other way, drop off pass to Marco, who finishes the layup. Here, guarding the inbound pass, tips it, takes it, gets fouled. The past couple of fourth quarters, DeMar has been in attack mode, and this one was no different. Here, he got all the way to the rim, laid it off the glass. This play design by the Clippers is devious. Look at this setup. They pretty much got three guys in the same corner just so Kawhi and Lou Will can run this pick and pop by themselves. Williams misses the wide open shot. Kawhi says, "That's fine, I'll just do it myself." Posts up, DeMar, fade away, bang. Okay, it's the middle of the fourth quarter, and Marco Belinelli is guarding Kawhi Leonard, I think on purpose? And Marco has to give him this much space, otherwise he's going to blow by. Kawhi takes him off the dribble, step back, thanks for playing. This one, Kawhi draws a double in the corner. Marco kind of shows, doesn't help. Kawhi's in between all five Spurs defenders, pretty open, and he just misses that shot. Let's go back to DeMar DeRozan, who continued to attack late in this game. There, takes Kawhi off the catch. Here he uses a screen to ditch Kawhi, gets into the paint. This is a tough Euro into a floater over Montrezl Harrell, but he gets it. Other end, he for sure fouls Kawhi, but Kawhi sells it a little too hard, and the refs don't take kindly to that. This play, Kawhi is in between all five Spurs defenders again. Patty helped down pretty much for no reason. Marco Belinelli now has to pick between three open shooters on the wing, and the Spurs dodge a bullet on this one. Other end, DeMar, strong to the basket. Maybe a little too strong. Trez Harrell draws the charge there. Here, Derek White guarding Kawhi pretty well until right there. Kawhi lost him with a behind-the-back dribble. That was tough. On this one, DeMar goes back to that post-up game on Shamet. Spinning jumper, fade, in. That's nice. Derek White guarding Kawhi. That's good defense on the pull-up jump shot. Here, with 2 minutes left in a 4-point game, we have Patty Mills guarding Lou Williams in isolation. Goes about as well as you would expect it to. This play, credit to Patty, he does a good job of fighting around the screen and getting back in for a contest on that shot. This play, oh my god, so many mistakes here. First, obviously, why is DeMar DeRozan double teaming Kawhi Leonard at the free throw line when Derek White is in great position, doesn't need the help? Beverly receives the pass wide open, and LaMarcus Aldridge closes out to him like he's Steph Curry, leaving Trez Harrell for an easy layup and one. God, there's so much wrong with that. Here, Patty guarding Lou Will again. Marco helps down. He's in bad position to close out here. Then, he doesn't realize that he has to rotate to the corner when his guy runs right into the big man. Spurs still have a chance in this game. DeMar DeRozan takes Kawhi off the dribble, finishes at the rim. That's a solid play. Here, post up, another fade. Doesn't get it, but the rebound tips out. Derek White, floater. You know he's got that. Here at the end, DeMar's backing down Patrick Beverly, who definitely gets away with a foul. DeMar doesn't quite want to let him get away with it. That's a bad time for a frustration foul. And this one, Derek White drives, floater, misses, gets it back. Somebody smart's got to tell me where the travel is on this one, because you can leave your pivot foot as long as you pass before you land. So, yeah, Patty Mills and Marco Belinelli in the game in the fourth quarter. Why? The Spurs just gave DeMar Carroll a 3-year, $21 million contract. He hasn't played a single minute this season yet. And Pop is acting like he has to play a completely porous backcourt down the stretch of a game. He yanked Lonnie Walker after less than 30 seconds twice in the second half. That was the only run he got in the second half. And you've got Marco and Patty, even if they're trying their best on defense, it's basically just a turnstile. They're not doing much at all on the defensive end of the floor. Marco especially. And Marco is in there to hit shots, and he's not hitting shots. So I don't understand really the point of not playing DeMar Carroll, the point of not playing Lonnie Walker. I think it's pretty obvious that Pop's comments about Lonnie Walker's effort were meant to light a fire under his butt, but I don't get it because he didn't play without fire. Like he was a feisty competitor for all 5 minutes he was on the floor. To single out the guy who played 5 minutes instead of, I don't know, LaMarcus Aldridge, who was just completely lackluster for the entire game, I don't get it. But they got another game tonight. Maybe Lonnie will play a little bit more against the Warriors. Maybe DeMar Carroll will get in the game. I don't know, but we'll see. And I'll break that one down too. As always, go Spurs, go.